14 years after 9/11 you've done this, and look at this kid got arrested. And they still see you as a terrorist. And they still see you as a threat. And they still see you as a zombie. And they'll never accept you. Oh, you did a play? Oh, you wrote all those articles? What for? You know? Did you make any dent? What, you know? And these whispers attack you, and they can crush you. They can crush you. And my Hail Mary pass that has gotten me out of these really dark moments has been that my call a friend, what if moment, that deathbed moment. That saved me like 4 times on this journey. And that's kept me going when it was very easy to sink into despair. And I hope I'm not being cheesy. I'm trying to give you just honest advice. But you know, especially when it comes to heart distance, right? I always tell people, like, we're so great, like you could be so dope. You guys will all be dope. Be doper. You know, you can. Like, when I tell people, it's like the Yale students. There's nothing wrong with being a doctor, right? Like I always tell people, there's nothing wrong with it, especially if you're passionate about it. But why don't you be a doctor and a poet? Like, why don't you be a doctor and a poet and a social activist? And they're like, really? I can do all of that? I'm like, why not? So I always tell people, be more. And if you look at my career, right, like, they all used to laugh at me. They're like, an agent told me 3 years ago, WajahatAliQ, we have to promote you, but you have to choose one thing. Are you going to be a playwright? Are you going to be a social media journalist? Are you an attorney? Or are you a writer? You have to choose one thing. And immediately as I was talking to her, I'm like, and she was a baller agent, I'm like, you will no longer be my agent, number 1. And number 2, I said, who made the rules that I have to be just one thing? Why can't I actually be a great many things? And I went with it, and trusted my gut, ignored her advice, and voila, fast forward, and now it's like seen as a cool thing when Shay says, yeah, this guy was a blogger and a playwright and an attorney, and now he's wearing makeup for a living. And this, you know, the millennial generation, especially compared to the older generation, it's much more accepted, and especially in the field of journalism, where the traditional journalist was an anchor with a tie, and he's just like this, and you had to read the news, and you had to have a gravitas. More and more people don't trust the news and don't trust the institution of journalism. So actually, if you do that, you're seen as being inauthentic. It's strange. But if you're a dude like Jon Stewart, who's not even a journalist, and you're just keeping it real, this type of hybrid, messy identity works now in journalism, in storytelling. So the stuff that made people, like, they literally mocked me all throughout my 20s, but I just had a lot of faith. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on my own terms. Is now seen as a calling card. Now, at the age of 34, my contract's up with Al Jazeera America in a couple of months, and all this stuff that I've done, people are like, that's an asset, you know? And yes, I was not able to change the world, but, you know, small ripple effect. And if I can make the world a little bit better for my tiny 1-year-old Ibrahim, you're like, all right, you know, I can hang my hat on that success. That's good. And that's a good life.